So today we will be measuring out your wrist. So this is how you do it. You kind of just do it like that, and then you do just a little extra. I'll probably do a little more. Oop, lost it. Just like a little extra, just like that. Cause you want a little extra because the knot's gonna tighten it all up. So I did this one just about that, and it came out perfect. So then you measure it. So I already have my wrist length. So when you have a wrist length, you might want to mark it down on here. Mine is 7 inch. So I'm going to make sure that this is correct. So these are gonna come out a little bit. So right here is where we're aiming for. My wrist length is here to here. So yeah, that's how you're gonna do your wrist length. And then I'll show you how to string it through, and we'll get tying. All right, so how you thread it through your paracord bracelet holder. So what you're gonna do, if you have one of these, you're gonna loosen the nut. Like, y'all are thinking I'm going the wrong way. Put it just about your wrist length. Mine is just around 7 inch. So I'm gonna tighten it right at the 7 inch line. You're gonna have to hold the bond screw because it'll try and turn too. So now that's tightened, you're going to take, trying to hold it here, you're going to take 2 of the colors that you want to use, and you're going to cut just about 3 to 2-ish feet here. So right about there. And you can make it multicolored, so what I'm going to do is blue and black. So we're going to slice this right about here, so you can't see it real well. So that's what it came out with. And then what you're going to do is slice your ends so that the inside threads aren't sticking out of them. And then you're going to melt one end until it looks real liquidy. Because that's basically when you have turned it into plastic. So then you're going to melt them together. I'm going to hold it right here. I'm going to try and push it together. So they're kind of tricky to get melted together. So if you're having troubles with this end, then I suggest then you could cut your other end and try that end. But I'm just gonna keep trying with this end. So I basically did is melted back down both ends until you make them nice and sticky and wet plastic. And they're going to dry, but for some reason these aren't sticking, so I'm gonna have to try again. now I got both ends. So you might want to connect them before they start drying, which I'm not doing a good job at. So now both of our ends are connected. Now we're just gonna hold them here and blow gently on them for the next couple of seconds. And then if you have to, you can leave them and give them a good 5 minutes, which I would recommend. But since I'm videoing this, probably would be best not to. But if you blow on it, then it'll dry much quicker. So once you get them burnt together, then you are going to thread them through your clips. So once you get your clips done, you're going to clip them on to each end so that you have something to thread through. So clip them onto each end. And then once that's done, you're going to take your paracord and try not to pull on it too much or else it might come off. But make a little hoop with whatever side you want. You can put it through either way. But bottom is probably the best. So I'm going to thread it through now. So I'm going to make, what I'm doing is making a little hoop. If you can see that good. Making a little hoop. And I'm pulling these two up and through it. And then once they're through it, I'm going to pull both of these down and in. And what I'm going to do is pull this one out quite a bit. Pull this one out so that we have our multicolored one right here. So once you get them adjusted, make sure that these two humps don't fall off to the side like that. When you're doing it, just pull them nice and tight so that they hold like that. So once you're doing it, it's gonna look pretty much like that. Then you're going to take your ends, your two ends, and put them together and hoop them through here. And then once they're hooped, pull them. And don't pull too hard because this might just crack or snap. But now we're ready to start braiding. So what I've already done is cut about 2 to 3 feet of paracord here, and what I've done is I melted it together and I've threaded it through the string, so that might help you if you see how I did it. Alright, now the knot that we will be doing today is a little different than what was in my first video. So we're going to go behind all three. We're going to go behind all three of these ones with whatever side you want to start out with, and then back through this hole. And you're going to tighten it down. And so the second one, you do the exact same thing but on the opposite side, behind all three. And then, so this thing keeps moving, back through the hole. I'm going to tighten down, and every two, you'll get a squarish look. But yeah, you'll get it after about 3 or 4 tries. So remember, behind all three, sorry, these are crisscross, behind all three, and then back through the hole. And then some, if you go in front, they'll turn out weird. And don't continue, because that'll make your knots all be loose and they'll all start moving and stuff when you finish them. So make sure that they all get behind. So remember, we're gonna go behind. If you can see that well, we're gonna go behind with the blue and then back through with the string. And so every two, it looks kind of like a square. So then with the black one, behind and through. We're gonna pull it nice and tight. If you get a little tangle, untangle it, and then I'm doing it nice and tight so it'll look good. And then make it behind all three. Fold it back through the hole and tighten it down. And so when you burn these, you gotta do a pretty well job. You gotta burn each tip until it's kind of like a little puddle. Because my first try of doing this video, I messed up and that came undone. So once you get to that point, then it might be harder to keeping it done. So see, I almost went in front, which was a mistake. So I start out behind and through. So how much string you'll need is about 3 to 2 feet. I probably have already said it, I don't know. But you just gotta make sure you have 3 to 2 feet. Just some of you might be wondering, I might not have cut enough. Might have cut too little. See how that turned out weird? I went front. You guys probably caught that. So the best way to untangle it is from the back if you mess up. So, behind and through. Now let me reposition. Now, I'm going to turn it, I'm going to bring it slightly to you guys' slightly different angle on the camera. And then I'm going to put it just like that. So it's supposed to turn out nice and tight, or else if these come loose, then they'll all start sliding down the line. So now, back behind, make your ear, and through. Slide it up, and slide it through. And then once you're getting down to this part, you don't want to pull too tight, but you want to make it pretty snug. But if you pull too tight, then that might snap. So, behind and through. Oh, so it snapped. So what I'm going to try and do is get it back together. So you're going to have to melt it until it looks like a liquid. Because then when it melts back together, it's basically a plastic mold. So if you guys caught that, then you guys might be able to do a little bit better with yours. But that might have been a little too close. I don't know. So I'm gonna put our camera a little more down. Now, back to doing what we're doing. Now I'll blow on it a couple of times. just to make sure it's secure. Now we're going to be doing it gentle. Ear hole, around and through. You don't want to put too much tension on those knots now, or else your plastic molding will break. Now behind, around, and through. My hand might be in the way of that one, but at least you'll see how it turns out. Behind, hoops behind, around, and through the hole. So that's a nice, clear look at it, how you can see it got done. Oh, pulled on it. Now, if it keeps happening and it happens in the metal, then you could find a way to, you can find ways to kind of like sew it. I've tried that once. It didn't go too well for me, but it might work out for you guys if you guys are any good at sewing. I have to hold these together. Oh, my batteries ran low. Get these together. Now, hopefully that'll melt together. Now, let's give it a sec to dry. And just hope that that works. Now, we'll come back to it and, ooh, it's not working too well, so. Just burn it to your heart's content and stick it together. You might want to hold and press. Now that that's done, it might actually do better. So yeah, I'm running out of string. Might need some more. And now I'm going to do a very gentle round through, back, tighten down. I'm doing it really carefully so that it doesn't break. And now, here's the tricky one. You gotta get over it, so, nope, I went front. So around through back, and there we go. Now let's see if we can get over it safely without it breaking, and then we can go on with our business. Or with her business. There we go. So, it might be a little annoying if it keeps coming apart, but you just gotta keep trying it. But I suggest is get a, oh, I went front. I suggest is get a good lighter. The one that I have doesn't work too well, so you might want to find one that's good quality. But you're almost done here. And So once you get to the bottom part, you can, I think I've said this before, but you can tie a knot, or you can figure out how to tie a knot. I don't tie knots at the end, but you can burn it, which is what I usually do. So if you haven't watched my first video, go ahead and watch that one. It's my first one was a keychain, which got bent up, which turned out pretty well. So if you want to watch that one, you can. Not 5-star, but it's worth a look. It's worth taking a look at. So I'm finishing up here. So I barely had enough. You guys can see that, so I used just the right amount. And so it might start to turn, but that's how it turns out. So you might just want to push it up. If you have extra, then you can push it up. And you can do a little more if you have just a little extra. Try have just a little extra. See if I have enough here. Sorry if you can't see, I'm trying to get through. But sorry, I'm trying to get through. So that's how you finish your bracelet. And now we're going to slice it and burn it, but you have to pull the last one very tight. And then you're going to cut it. Well, you can take it off now. It might be easier if I take it off to show you. So then what I'm going to do, put that over there. Oop, I'm all out. So what you can use as matches too, but also just have somewhere to put them. Just you gotta get a little close. And it starts melting it, and look what you came out with. It's a nice, beautiful burn. And so my other side, I'm going to cut. This side's tricky. It's under there a little ways. Sorry if you can't see that. So I cut it. Now I'm going to try and get in there without burning the black piece above it. So that's what you turn out with, is a pretty cool bracelet. I didn't think I went tight enough on the metal, but that's how you'll finish up your bracelet. I think this is where I'm gonna wrap up the video. So that's how you finish your bracelet, and I can't remember what the knot's called. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and please share this video, and enjoy.